We give bold predictions on this live edition of the Uptempo podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Good evening, Uptempo gang, Auburn family. Dustin Smith and Blake Lane back with another edition of the live Uptempo podcast. And Blake, we're gonna do some bold predictions tonight, baby.
Yeah.
Last year, y'all remember Blake came close on one. Blake was the only person to come close on one. Simp jumped out. Blake predicted 5 interceptions for Simp. Simp jumped out like halfway through the year, had 4. And then didn't get another one. So we didn't hit on any last year, but we're going to hit this year, baby. We're going to hit this year. Before we get started, Blake, how you doing tonight, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. Reading this comment section over here, all the booging going on, and the Auburn fans are just juiced up, baby. Hey, 2 weeks, and it is here. I'm so excited, man. Football's back next Saturday. Like I said last episode, waking up 11 a.m. Florida State, Georgia Tech. That's going to be a good one. It's here, man. It's here. And I look, as an Auburn man, as an Auburn guy, I know how everybody is excited and just wanting that passion back inside of Jordan-Hare, right? You know, we talk about it all the time, Dustin. We want to get back to the winning ways, man. Where we just, I saw a Twitter comment today, and it said that Auburn's coming up on 10 years without a 10-win season. It's just right around the corner.
Yeah.
And it just, man, that feels sick. Like even give me 9 wins. To take me back to 2019 and give me 9 wins. Like I just I want to be competitive. I want to be in that discussion. I want to go back to 2014 and seeing that first college football playoff ranking come out, and Auburn just be in the discussion, man. So it's right around the corner, and Hugh Freeze doing the interviews and everything, and him talking up Auburn and just saying how that we should be a top 10 program in the country. I like the way the man talks. So now let's put it on the field.
Yeah, I think his tone is a lot different. I think that he does feel better about the roster with another year of his recruiting. I think that he does feel better about his staff. But I also think that his players kind of got in his ear about last year and said, hey, we know you had to recruit, but that didn't have to be your message every post game about how you didn't have good enough players. So I think he's kind of worked on changing that message a little bit and everything. So I see you guys in there. I see some of y'all already throwing out some bold predictions. I got some of y'all saved, and we'll get to some of y'all at the end of the show. But before we do, man, here's the format. We're going to go 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and then 1 for the team overall. And I'm going to go ahead and get us started, Blake. First, on offense, I'm going to go 8 for number 8. 800 yards, 8 touchdowns for Cam Coleman. Now, Auburn hadn't had a receiver go for 800 in a hot minute. Auburn didn't have a receiver go for 400 last year. So cut that in half, and Auburn still didn't have that last year. Jay Fair came close for like 360, 370, something like that. He led the team, right? That was as good as it got. So I think 800 yards. Well, I don't necessarily say I think, but it's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
800 yards, 8 touchdowns for Cam Coleman, living up to the hype, being that guy. And then I think those 1,000-yard seasons come those next 2 years. But I think he definitely knocks on the door this year and puts up the biggest season that Auburn has seen in a long time from that wide receiver position play.
First one, I'm going with Dustin. I love the Cam Coleman talk, by the way. I think he's going to be just a first-round draft pick. I think he's going to be that guy for the Auburn Tigers. But what I'm going with first on offense is Mr. Rivaldo Fairweather with 6 touchdowns last year. I think Rivaldo gets double digits. I'm going 10 plus tutters this year. Yes, sir. That's going to be a bold one for me, just because I think all the weapons on the outside, all the receivers that we talk about, I think it opens up the middle of the field for Rivaldo Fairweather. I think he has an even better year this year, and he finds the end zone even more, gets to play more tight end this year, doesn't have to split outside and play receiver and go for 50-50 balls on fades and back shoulders and all that stuff that he had to do last year. So I think Rivaldo has an even better year this year.
Yeah, 10 tutties for Valdo. I like that, man. He gets 10 tutties, and we might be on the way to 25, 30 passing touchdowns.
You know how Hugh likes to use the tight end now. Go back to
Yeah,
the Ole Miss days. He loves the tight end.
for sure, for sure. I like that one a lot. Second one, Blake, a guy that me and you have been high on all summer, so we're not going to stop now. Jeremiah Cobb. I'm going to say 5 touchdowns overall for Jeremiah Cobb and 550 yards overall on offense, and he takes a kickoff return to the house. So,
Mm.
so 6 overall touchdowns at least on offense. Give me 5. And then he had 2 receiving last year. I don't believe that he had a rushing touchdown. So I got him more than doubling that. 500 yards of total offense. Well, 550, excuse me. And then he's taking a kickoff back, baby. Taking a
Mm.
kickoff back. And I think he's going to be dynamic all over the field, man.
I was with you on the Jeremiah Cobb stuff. I was going to say 6 tutters for Jeremiah Cobb. And he had 2 out of the backfield last year. I think he could also be a major weapon for the Auburn Tigers inside the red zone. You saw it a little bit last year. I felt like they could have used him a little bit more. I don't know why we didn't. And I do see a comment about Philip Montgomery in the chat, and we'll get to that one in a minute. But yeah, man, I think Jeremiah Cobb is going to be an exceptional back, an exceptional weapon for the Auburn Tigers. I think he's going to make PT's life a little easier. I like that number at 6, but I'll throw one out here. I think Perry Thompson goes for. I'll say Perry gets over 400 yards his freshman year, and I'll say give me 5 touchdowns for Perry. Give me that. That'll be my bold one for Perry. I think he goes 5+ tutters in his freshman year.
Yeah, I like that, Blake. I mean,
Just because
red zone threat,
and we're still. I know he's balling out right now in fall camp, but he still missed spring. I think it is going to take him a little while. You know, you got to get up to game speed and everything like that. The playbook, all that stuff. We got one the first week of the season, get his feet wet and everything like that. But let's just give him a chance. You know, we don't want to throw him right into the fire. Cal, let him get his stuff set and get into the motion, man. And I think he gets 400+ yards, and I'll give him 5 TDs.
yeah, that would be big. I think when we're talking about Jeremiah, I just think that third down, like I think he's just going to be that guy in a lot of third down situations.
Yep.
Like if I look at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, I think he'd be my first choice to be the running back that would be out there. I'm like, that's not crazy, is it? As good as Jarquez is.
Look, man, screen game, and his ability to pick up the pass rush. His pass pro is exceptional. Him being able to leak out of the backfield, like I said, I just felt like we should have used him way more in third down last year. I feel like you get the ball to him out in space, get him out in the flat, let him make a move, one cut, see what he can do. He's a lightning rod, man. He's one of those guys that one cut, he could take it. He can take it 50, 60 yards to the house. So, yeah, I like your pick. I like how high we are on him. And, Brett, I see you in the chat. I think that's a great pick. We'll get to that one. But, yeah, Dustin, I think Jeremiah, look, we're not throwing shade at Damari. We think Damari's going to be a great back. I think Damari is hard-nosed. I think he is going to also have a great year. And this running back room is, in my opinion, one of the tops in the SEC. I think we're going to smash the football this year. And I think all 3 of these guys are going to make PT's life a little easy.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even a bold prediction. I will, if we end up doing one before the season on just like prediction type thing, like I don't think this is this bold. What I'm about to say, just a regular prediction I feel comfortable making is I think that it's not out of the question to say that every of those 3 running backs, I think they'll all at least have 400 yards of total offense. So, like, think that Jarquez is going to get over 1,000. I just said I think that Jeremiah is going to get over 500 total. And I could easily see Damari in that same scenario still getting 350, 400 yards of rushing and 4 or 5 rushing TDs and contributing and doing all that as well. So I think that it really is going to be a 3-headed monster back there. I think you're just the question is, and I haven't said this in a long time or as an Auburn fan, but I'm looking at all the weapons and I'm like, there's only one football.
Yeah,
There's only
that's
one
why these
ball.
are bold. That's why these are bold.
Yeah. It's just like, man, there's a lot going on. I want to holler at y'all before we get over to the defensive side. of the ball. Daniel says, Auburn fans should be pissed. Philip Montgomery didn't allow Peyton to change the play on the sideline when Peyton knew the play wasn't going to work. Daniel, my thoughts on this are it's not really breaking news at this point that Peyton Thorne was not a big fan of what Philip Montgomery had going on. There
Yep.
wasn't a whole lot of belief there. It's things like this that kind of lead to that. When your head coach and your offensive coordinator are not on the same page, that can lead to a lot of this kind of stuff as well. And I guess my problem with the whole thing is, why don't you pay him the big NIL money and go get the veteran quarterback if you're not going to let him do the things that a veteran quarterback needs to be allowed to do? You told me he was a starter because he had all this experience and could do all these things the young cats couldn't. But then you don't let him do those things. So it kind of flies in the face of what you're telling me. That's my issue with that whole situation.
It kind of takes me back. I think it was the Georgia game. Uh, it was a big play in the game, and I believe it was Jay Fair that he stares down the Georgia linebacker and he's like, PT, him, like he's blitzing, like here he
Remember
comes.
that.
And it was no change of protection, no change of play. It was PT just snap it, sacked. So it takes me back to, was PT just not allowed to do anything? Is that why we didn't see him walk up to the line of scrimmage and point out and say, hey, look, here's the protection. I'm changing it up, changing the play, whatever. Like, I think he might have been handcuffed last year. And now the news is coming out. So you're sitting here, all the things that we were kind of getting after him about, maybe they weren't his fault. Maybe he's coming out and saying, hey, I was wanting to do this. I was looking at this play saying, hey, it's not going to work, but I got to run it because I'm being told if I don't run it, I'm coming out the game. So, it's tough to be handcuffed at quarterback, man. I feel sorry for him because he has taken a lot of heat. He has gotten, embarrassed on social media for his play from last year. Graphics coming out saying that he's the 16th best quarterback in the league. That's got to be tough. I know he deletes social media, Twitter, and all that stuff, but guys talk about it. Guys show him and say, "Hey, man, look at this graphic." It's got to be tough on the kid. So hopefully he can rebound this year, and he's got 2 coaches that believe in him over there. 3 coaches, I should say. So as long as everybody's on the same page, as long as we don't scrap a game plan on a Thursday and walk into Kyle Field completely unprepared. They come to us this year, thank goodness. But that's where it really showed up, was just we weren't on the same page, man. It was a clown show last year. So I wish him the best this year, and hopefully he has a better year.
Yeah. Your text message to me after that first drive of the A&M game. As frustrated as I was, I laughed. Blake was not happy, guys. Daniel says, Daniel says Auburn beats Bama by 10. This is bold, Danny. It's bold, baby. Super Bowl prediction. Screenshot it, save it, come back and tell me that you told me so.
I'll tell you what, though. If it happens, watch out. If it happens, watch out. And we'll get to it in a minute. Dustin. But if it happens, watch out.
Yeah, okay. I know where you're going already. I like it. Keep that one in your back pocket, Daniel. Brett with his bold prediction saying Malcolm Simmons will line up at punter at least twice. I hope you're wrong, Brett. I know he played some punter in high school. That would mean we got some stuff going on at punter. Maybe we're up big and they just want to have some fun. Super bold though. We know Malcolm would do it. And he is the talk of Auburn this week after the big performance he had at the scrimmage. Drew says placed bets months ago for us to win over 7.5 games. Mm-hmm. Going to love the payout. Or damn Eagle. Isn't that what the over-under is? It's at 7.5?
Yeah.
That's a perfect over-under for us. That's perfect.
Yeah. Some people have taken the under. J.D. Piquel, he took the over. Josh Pate took the under. How you feel about that?
As we sit here on the 13th, I'm at 7.5. I ain't got to put my prediction in just yet, baby. I am on the line. I push tonight. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm on one of those. I mean, you talked about it before we hit go. I'm on one of those. We'll see. Maybe I'll be booking extra hard the night that we make our predictions.
yeah,
Brett says they are telling me AU loses 6 or more. Brett, tell them that they know where they can stick it, brother. I ain't even
yeah.
buying that. I'm not buying that at
No.
all. No, this team's not going to lose more than 6 games, that's for sure. Mike says, I like all these TD predictions. Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir. I mean, hey, look, I got Cam getting 8. Blake's got Rivaldo getting 10. There's 18 right there. We
Yes,
balling.
yes,
Brett, I think Philip Bleedy got a new fan. Our boy Brett put the picture up.
yeah,
And shout out to On the Victory, man. You know, I come on here a lot and I say stuff about the way college football is going and all that. One of my things has always kind of been, hey, players are changing teams all the time. Does you really have this connection with the fans type thing? Because like a guy like Jason Campbell, who we watched struggle and we kind of built that relationship with fans, and then he has that senior
mhm,
year, that whole thing, right? A guy like Trevon Reed, who we watched come in highly touted, and he has to kind of find his position, and then later in his career, he finds that hey, I should have been a DB, and we see that maturation, and he goes on to the NFL and gets some run and all that. So, uh, but what On to Victory has done is genius. If it's like they're building relations, like it's more than ever. Like people that are fans have access to go to a scrimmage, and Brett posted a picture of his kid with Philip Bleedy, and to have that access with the fans and get to meet the players and build those relationships and build those bonds. I think it's really cool. But business wise, I think it's really smart. I think it's a smart thing that they've done to kind of take advantage. And it's a cool thing that NIL has opened the door for. And Brett, I told Brett this in the DMs. Like, I'm really glad that him and his family got to go do that and experience that. And Philip's bold or Brett's bold prediction for Philip is he gets 5 sacks. He gets 5 sacks up that middle, Brett. We cooking, baby.
yeah. One thing I told Brett this earlier today. One thing that a lot of college football players and college athletes in general get a lot of heat for is the transfer portal and the swip swapping and all this stuff. You know, just going from team to team to team. And I think there's, even though you transfer, I think there's still good kids in the world, man. I think there's still kids that care about competition. Just because you transfer doesn't mean that you quit or you don't care about competing. All right. Um, Sometimes you're just in a spot where you want to say, "Hey, look, I need to get some more eyes on me, man." Like
Mm.
I'm in Indiana. Maybe I want to go down to Auburn and play at Auburn just to get that SEC feel. Maybe the SEC will prepare me to go to the next level. Maybe playing Auburn's schedule will prepare me for the NFL. So I'm going to use my last year and go down there. I just feel like some kids take a bad beat when they do transfer, and to get out into the community, to get out and meet the fans, meet the kids, man, be open with these kids and sign autographs, give gloves out, things that take pictures. There's still good kids in the world, man, and these dudes, they might make money off of NIL, but they still bust their tail. I hate hearing, oh, well, they don't care anymore. They don't care anymore. This person makes more than this person. The offensive line, why would they block? You know, I hear people all the time. They say, well, why would that right guard block for that running back when the running back's making $100,000 more than him? Because they care. There's one goal, and that is to win a national championship. Just because he's making more money doesn't matter. All right. They still care. They care about each other. It's a brotherhood. If you've ever been in any sort of locker room, it is a brotherhood, and they love each other and they care about each other. When Brett told me about this, man, I was really excited because I there's still good kids out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. So good stuff from Philip Booty this weekend, and we definitely appreciate that, man. I think it's really cool. Thank you for sharing all that with us, Brett. Thomas, got a couple more of these before we go over the
Hmm.
defense. Says Connor Lew wins a national award. I know, man. You know they don't even have our boy on the top 4
Hmm.
all SEC preseason. He ain't first team, second team, or third team.
Yeah.
Come on, it was Phil Steele that makes 4. He didn't have him on there either, but whatever, man. Conaloo getting kind of passed over from the national media, the local media. We know a little bit better than that, though, don't we,
It's
Tigers?
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
He's gonna put them on notice. He's gonna put them on notice. Tim Toolman Taylor with a simple statement, and I agree with you, bro. I like this a lot. I like
I
this a
like
lot. So
I like
yes,
his I like his comments too. I like
yeah,
his
yeah.
comments in the section after the live show.
Oh yeah, yeah. Samuel says, "I'm on the Thorn train. I'm calling. He's gonna throw for 350
Mm,
against the Gums."
mm.
Boy, let me tell you something. PT go to Tuscaloosa breaks that streak that's been going on since 2010. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. He needs to run off the field with a bottle of Cammy Cam juice with holding his mouth, brother. Cause he'll be a legend. He'll be a legend. I'll make a t-shirt with the Talladega Peyton Thorne if he does this.
Man,
Might
that
just
would be epic.
might just have
That
a
would be
picture
epic.
of him smoking a cigar at Talladega right here behind me for the rest of the time I'm doing this show.
Man,
Uh, yeah, but
that's a goated picture, by the way. All right, it
yeah,
is, man. I mean, just seeing him at Dega. If you're from Alabama, that Dega goes crazy.
yes, sir, yes, sir. I've had some family members that may or may not have got to spend a night in the jail over there
Yeah,
for some, and left me sitting on the side of the road at Talladega, like I can't drive a truck home neither. But
yeah.
that's a story for another day. Rite of passage for a young man in the state of Alabama. On to the defensive side of the ball, man. I'm gonna start in the defensive backfield. I'm gonna get real bold here because I don't even think these guys are gonna start at the beginning of the season. But Sylvester Smith and J.C. Hart will each have 2 interceptions.
Mm,
At least J.C. Hart and Sylvester Smith will have 2 interceptions. I think that J.C. Hart, from all the intel that I've got, has had a really good fall camp, kind of worked his way up in there. They feel good about him being maybe the first corner off the bench type thing. He's really worked himself into that role. So even if everybody stays healthy, he's still going to get a lot of run if that's the scenario. But if somebody gets hurt, then obviously that bumps up his reps even more. And guys get hurt in football. Same thing for Sylvester Smith. He's not going to start at safety. The Texas transfer Thompson and then Caleb will be your starters. But Sylvester's going to get a whole lot of run back there. And you guys know I'm high. I'm high on Sylvester Smith. So give me 2 picks: Sylvester Smith and J.C. Hart, a piece.
I like that, man. And guess what? I just thought about this one off the rip. Give me Antonio Kite showing up for the Auburn secondary, coming over from those bitter Gumps
Mm.
and shocking the Gumps. They said, hey, he ain't any good. You got a guy that couldn't get on the field. All right. I like what he brings to the table. Give me a guy that's been under Saban. Put him back there in that Auburn DB room. Give me Antonio Kite for 2 picks. But
Okay.
my biggest one, give me Caleb. I'm gonna replace him with Simp from last year. Give me those 5 picks.
Okay, let's go.
I think Caleb gets it. All right. He's gonna make up for Simp letting me down last year after he got 4. And I think about the one at LSU. I'm like, that could have been 5. But Caleb's redeeming it. He's coming back this year. He had one last year. All right. Had one last year. But this year, he turns up. 4 more. Give me 5.
I like that. So, will somebody get my man Blake a handful of picks, please?
Yeah.
Somebody get my man. Jeff says I'm saving the receipts on that one, Dustin. Well, a couple people say the receipts on my Robert Woodyard Bowl prediction last year, and I came up about 78 tackles short, brother. So yeah, these are bold. But feel free to
Yeah.
come back because if one hits, I will damn sure be on here talking about I told you. So yeah, it's all fair, baby. We get it. You can definitely hold our feet to the fire, but these are bold, baby. We do acknowledge these are bold. I'm gonna give you another bold one. Defensive line, Malik Blockton and Amaris Williams will combine for 5 sacks apiece, or for 5 sacks total, and for at least 11 and a half tackles for loss. I bumped my number up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of them also will make the all SEC freshman team.
I like that. I'm going with Keyron Crawford. I think
That's a good one.
Yeah, give me over 5.5. Give me the 6 number. I like it. I think he hits that. I think he puts a hurting on QBs. I think he's going to be elite on third down. Give me that, man. I think he's coming onto the scene. I like what I'm hearing from him. I think DJ's excited about the way he can use him. I think he hits that number this year.
Yeah, the sack numbers, like I don't think it's crazy like to expect the sack numbers to go up
Yeah,
significantly from talent added and scheme. Like
yeah,
I think you're definitely going to see Ron Roberts brought blitzes from in different ways. We know what DJ Durkin going to do. He's going to try to
yeah.
dominate this thing up front. So yeah, I like that a lot. Ant gets in here and he says Laquan Robinson will have 3 interceptions at linebacker. That'd be interesting. But I mean, he does. That's a good pick, Ant, as far as because I know he's like that safety linebacker hybrid, so he can kind of do all that.
Yep.
That would be nice, man, if he could come in and do that for us. Brent has a question for you, Blake. How many interceptions does Eugene get? Because it seems like you get about 4 picks a night with that man.
Hey man, Eugene is my guy on college football 25. I only play with the Auburn Tigers in the road to the CFP, and I'll be honest, I think he's the best user in the game. I user him nonstop. And Dustin, you're right. Like I'll be honest with you, a while ago I was playing a guy. He was Colorado. I had a pick six with Eugene. I had a kick return with Keontae Scott, and then I had a punt return with Keontae Scott. I was up
Mm,
21-0 and didn't even touch the ball on offense. All right. So that Eugene, man, I hope he gets one because he responded to me the other day on Twitter, and I had a pick with him and I couldn't get in the end zone. And then the very next day, I had a pick with him and returned it for 6. So I hope he has a stellar year, man. I know him staying healthy and being out there for that Auburn defense is going to be absolutely huge. He's just that juice guy, man. He brings it. He brings the energy. You see it at practice. I just got nothing but love for that dude, man. Like everything he's been through in life, and he just continues to bring it. He's a glue guy for Auburn University, and I hope he gets a couple. Because hey, if he improves in coverage, I think he's an NFL guy.
oh yeah,
I think he's an NFL guy. If he improves in coverage and he's better than he was last year, he's an NFL guy. That dude can play.
yeah, for sure. He kind of, in a lot of ways, where he's at as far as what his career needs to like the next step for it. It reminds me a lot of KJ Britt.
Mm,
It reminds me a lot of KJ Britt. And when KJ got to Tampa, he was practice squad the first year, and then the next year he was like he was a preseason superstar for a couple years, right? Where
yeah.
all the Tampa media was like, "Hey, KJ's he's good, man. He's got to figure out that pass coverage game. He's got to be able to do some things, at that linebacker position and pass coverage in the year 2024. And he's worked on it. He's figured it out, and now he's going to start this year. So their
Mm.
games kind of remind me. I know there's some differences, but just kind of where they're at reminds me a lot. Samuel says Keldrick Falk 9.5 sacks this year. That's I mean it's bold, but it's like my official prediction for Keldrick is like probably 7.5 to 8. So I mean I think he's gonna get 8 this year, Sam. So I mean I see this. I could definitely see this happening for sure. This is a good one.
Yeah.
This would
2
be
more
big
years
because
of him.
yeah, love that. If he gets 9.5, right, and then Jalen gives you 7.5, and then Kayron Crawford gives you 5 or 6.5, and then Amaris gets you 2 or 3. Eugene gets you
Yeah.
3 or 4. You start kind of looking at it, and you're like, oh boy, these are adding up now. So and that's the thing that just excites me so much about DJ Durkin. Drew asked, who has the best chance for double-digit sacks this year? I'm going to say Jalen McLeod or Keldrick Falk because they're just the
Yeah.
most talented guys down there on the edge. You agree with that, Blake?
Yeah, 100%. They're the 2 that's going to bring it.
Yeah. Kyle says, "Yo, I'm just feeling like we shock all the folks this year, either 6-6 or 11-1." Kyle, I won't be shocked with 6-6, brother, because I just watched us go 6-6, right? So I really wouldn't be that shocked by it, but 11-1 would catch me off guard.
I won't be happy with 6-6.
I will be happy, but I won't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. Um, 11-1. If we go 11-1, we're throwing a party. All right, we're gonna have an up tempo party. All right, we're gonna
Yeah,
bring the juice. All right, we're
yeah,
gonna have Mama G's there. All right,
yeah.
we're gonna have it all. If we go 11-1, that means we're getting ready to get on a damn jet to go somewhere to watch the Auburn Tigers in a college football playoff game, and we'll get to it in a minute.
Brett says 6-6 is Jabba for sure. And did you have 18? You talking about you had 18 on the game? You went off with 18 with Keldrick? I know you're not talking about Kendrick Lamar here. I know you meant Keldrick. Yeah, you had 18, man. Hey, did you win the Heisman with him? Because I've seen a couple of dynasties where it ends or winning the Heisman. I'm in one right now. I'm in an online league right now. Dude's playing with Virginia Tech, and he's got his left end's like second in the Heisman race because he's got a bunch of. I'm just like, all right, dog, whatever. All right, so that's what we got for defense. Yeah, so on to the team prediction. I'm going to say that Auburn will lead the conference in all SEC freshman team. We will have more players than any other team in the conference, and not only will we have more teams than any other players in any team, we will also that will be by at least 2 players. So I think Auburn is going to be. You're going to look at the all SEC freshman list at the end of the season and be like, this is Auburn's class last year, basically. That's how I feel about it. I think the reasons for that are, one, yes, they're super talented, and I don't know all the teams in the conference the way I do Auburn, but like I can't imagine there's another team out there that's going to depend on their freshmen as much as we are. I mean, like I'm looking at some of these guys, Malik Blockton, gotta play. Amaris Williams, gotta play. Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, gotta play. Like it just is what it is, bro. These guys gotta play. Some of them are gonna have to step up. Man, if there's a couple of injuries at outside corner, you have no choice but for Crawford to come out there as a true freshman and play. And would we be shocked if Crawford played well enough in that scenario to make this team? I wouldn't. We got a lot of guys, man. We got a lot of guys. What if there's some injuries at linebacker and Barber or Reddick step in and perform well and look nice? I think we're going to litter. I think we're going to be all over that, man. I think we're going to dominate that list this year.
I think that would look good for next year in 26. I think, I'm not wishing injury or anything, but if you do see those guys come in and play and they flourish, I think you're sitting here looking at 25 and 26 and saying, hey, Auburn's they're going to have a shot. But my team prediction, Dustin, everybody stay with me. I'm going to say this. Going into the Iron Bowl, the Auburn Tigers will have the chance to make the college football playoff. That's my bold prediction. It's bold, all right? It's bold. But going into the Iron Bowl, Texas A&M is that cliffhanger for me. It's that one where people are going to be talking about it. Can you beat A&M at home? Going into the Iron Bowl, you're going to have the chance to be in the college football playoff. People are going to be talking, can Auburn knock off Alabama? I think you're going to be in the discussion. People are going to be chirping. I believe in the Auburn Tigers. I believe in the hype. I believe in the stock right now. I believe in the young talent. I believe in the veteran guys. I'm booging. All right. I think Auburn can make it happen. I was talking to Dustin before we recorded. If you go back, I know as disastrous as last year was, if you go back and you think about the opportunities that Auburn had, we should have went 8-4 last year. Should have went 8-4. We don't have to play LSU this year. I don't care what anybody says. I'd much rather play Oklahoma than LSU. I think the schedule is a little bit in our favor with welcoming Oklahoma into our house. I know we got to go to Athens. I know we got to go to Como. And I know we got to go to Tuscaloosa. But if Auburn can somehow win one of those and into that Iron Bowl, you got an opportunity to be in that college football playoff. There's a shot.
I'll try to pull the schedule up, Blake. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. There's a shot, man.
There we go.
There it is. Look at it. I mean, look. start 4-0. That 9-28, I think we got them. And I know we'll do predictions, but 10-5, we might take one on the chin. Maybe. Who knows? I think we got to be competitive in that one. 10-19 that's the money one. That's the money one right there. 10-26, that's the money one. All right. Vanderbilt, they got something. We gotta put one on them. All right. Pavoa, whatever his name is. All right. Got to get him. All right. Got to make him feel something from last year. UL Monroe, the Warhawks, got to get them. I don't want another
General Booty. You worry about General Booty coming in here?
Man, he's gonna get booty blasted. He's gonna get booty blasted. And 11-23, that's the one. That's the one where the birds are gonna be chirping that the Auburn Tigers can be in that college football playoff. That's my bold prediction for this team.
Who names their child General Booty, bro? It is. When I picked them as my team on on the game, bro, and I saw that, I immediately Googled. Like, this is really this man's name, bro. General Booty. Look, I like it, Blake. And when you look at the schedule, here's the path to that. And you're saying in the conversation going into the Iron Bowl, and the path for that is like, all right, you beat Oklahoma, obviously, you're 5-0. Okay, say you lose to Georgia, say you lose to Missouri.
Yep.
Then you win at Kentucky. So you're sitting there at 6-2.
Yep.
Coming back home for 3 straight.
Yep.
So you got Vandy. Okay. Then you get a bye. Recuperate. I love the 2 byes, by the way.
Yeah.
So you recuperate. Then you got ULM. So, when you look at like last year, the New Mexico State situation, you had just come off of a big win at Arkansas. Did Arkansas suck? Sure. But it just felt good to play that way in an SEC game. Auburn hadn't played that way in a while. And the team was feeling themselves. If you saw the videos after the game, you come in the next week, there's a whole lot of talk about just got to get to the Iron Bowl now and all this kind of stuff. And you drop the ball. But having a bye week before ULM, it's like, all right, man, like you can kind of get focused, make sure you don't overlook them before you get ready for these monster games here at the end with A&M and Alabama. So just looking at the schedule, like the scenario is not crazy if you beat Georgia or if you beat Oklahoma, excuse me.
Yep.
If you beat Oklahoma, you can still only have to win one out of those next 3 road games in Georgia, Missouri, and Kentucky. If you look competitive at Georgia, but you lose. You look competitive at Missouri, but it's a little too much Luther Burden and Brady Cook for you, and you lose. And then you can go in there and find a way to beat Kentucky, who, like, based off of what they are right now as a program, they're going to make a bowl. So, like, you go in there and you beat a 6, 7, maybe 8-win Kentucky team. It's not an easy thing to do. So that's a nice solid win you'll have. I mean, it just sets up to where you could easily, I don't want to say easily, but there's a scenario here we see where you're going into the Bama game with 2 losses. And if Auburn is going into the Bama game with 2 losses, to Blake's point, people are going to be talking about it. Because if you win, then you're 10-2, like you're for sure in. And then you might be in that scenario. In that scenario, you're probably going to be in the position because you'll still have 2 SEC losses. So you might just get to sit out of the SEC championship game. And sit back and say, I'm 10-2 in the SEC, baby. Put me in that thing, and then I'll get to rest up, and I'll see you. You might be hosting a home playoff game. And even if you lose it, then you're sitting there saying, okay, I'm 9-3. Let's say that Oklahoma does have a productive season. Let's say Kentucky makes a bowl, and Cal makes a bowl game, and A&M makes a bowl game, and then you played Georgia, Bama, and Missouri close, like you looked like you belonged in those games. Then it's just about where the field falls. Like maybe you don't make a 12-team playoff there, but maybe you do. Then it's just about how it all kind of falls. But to Blake's point, under all those scenarios, you're in the conversation.
Just get in the conversation. Just get in the conversation. Do we have to make it this year? No, we don't have to make it. I don't think that's what people are shooting for the Auburn Tigers. But if you get in the conversation, Dustin, what does 25 and 26 look like?
Right.
What does that recruiting class look like? I mean, we're building. We're building. What's the 26 class look like? You're going to have all that momentum. Just get in the conversation. If we go 9-3, if we have the opportunity, if we're 6-2, and you got Vandy, UL Monroe, and then you got A&M. If you want to, as we call, flip the script or make the turn for Auburn football, you got to go 3-0 in those games. Can't be no funky business. Can't be no fluke. I wanted to say something. Can't be no fluke stuff. All right. Like last year, you got to handle business at Jordan Hare. It starts with Oklahoma. Well, it starts with Cal and Arkansas, but we should beat those two programs. That Oklahoma, you wanna change everything. You wanna get back right. It starts with that one, man. Like I think Auburn. That's my bold prediction. I think they'll be in the conversation. Remember, it's not 4 teams anymore. It's 12. So there's gonna be a 9-3 team probably sneak in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a 9-3 team that on that last week of the season, somebody's going to lose. There's going to be an upset, and a 9-3 team's going to knock somebody off, and they're going to say, "Hey, look, that team deserves to be. They deserve to be that 12 seed." And then they're probably going to go get booty blasted in the first round of the playoffs by a 5 seed like Georgia or somebody like that. I mean, Ole Miss maybe or somebody like that. But just be in the conversation, Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to some of these comments before we get out of here tonight, man. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Had a nice amount of subscribers off of the other show yesterday, so we're even closer to our goal of 2K, man. Y'all continue to share these pods out on social media and all that. It helps out a ton. Our guy Chris always helps out. He shares every episode. Yeah, no, Thomas is on fire, dog. Like I got you, Thomas. I got you. Thomas said it's not even good booty, bro. It's just some plain old general booty.
Look, the joke's off that. I mean, just we're sorry if but it's just it's fun.
No, I mean, it is it is what it is. I would absolutely love to be the play-by-play announcer, and he for about a week there before he transferred off my team on the game because I don't pass the ball ever. My girlfriend had to hear me on deep balls. Give me some booty. So it is what it is what it is. Boys will be boys.
I'm so glad they come out with that game, man.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
It's a good time. It is a good time. Amir says 1 day at a time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You sound like Nick Saban, Amir. Got to build the process 1 day at a time. Focus on Monday. Focus on Tuesday, and so forth. James, you had a comment I wanted to get to. You said we are winning no less than 10 games and finishing up with the top 3 class. I got you wrote down last episode, brother. So at the end of the year, if we do this, I got you, James. I got you. You getting James. As a matter of fact, brother, if this hits, because you've been so bold about it, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna get you, my guy, one of these nice up-tempo T-shirts. If this happens, I'll send one of these things your way. This is a bold prediction that you've stood on. So, James, if you hit on it, buddy, you can get at me on Twitter. Get at me in the comments right here, and I'll send you one of these. And if you want to go ahead and get you one of these, go to thewarportshop.com. Check us out. Our merch is over there. Help us out a ton. Hey, high school football this week, guys. Got jamborees kicking off here in Florida this week, Thursday night. Dante Core, I will be checking him out. As long as that game's still going on, they took it off their schedule all of a sudden. I think the game is still happening. I think it's just they took it off because it's a preseason game. But I'm finding all that out. So, but I'm pretty sure it still will be. So, and even if not, season starts next week. So tons and tons of content coming out for you guys. $3.99 a month for the JV squad, $5.99 a month for the varsity squad. And I have already made up my list, made my graphic. It will be coming out for you guys in a couple of days. I got to do the show. But on the next Member Pod, Blake, I'm going to be unveiling my power rankings, top 10 of Auburn current commitments. And on that episode, I'll kind of get into the formula of how we're going to do it and all that. We'll kind of update it throughout the year and all that. So got that coming for you guys this week. That's all I got tonight, Blake. Good show, man. You guys continue to help us out, continue to support. These numbers are going up as we get closer to football season. So make sure you subscribe, man. If you're over there on audio, leave that 5-star review. and all that good stuff. And we love y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all coming in here. There's a lot of options out there. There's a whole lot of options for Auburn pods, and you guys have held us down throughout the summer, and we love you, and we appreciate every single one of y'all, man.
Yeah, Dustin, I just wanted to throw Thomas up here real quick with the $5
Let's
super
go.
chat. War Damn Eagle, 8 wins minimum. Final answer. Hey, it's on the table. It's on the table, and I know we sound like a broken record sometimes, but it is on the table for the Auburn Tigers. There's a lot of talent on this team, and I think Hugh Freeze has presented himself really well, especially after last season. And heads are high. There seems to be a lot of momentum inside the room. There seems to be a lot of momentum on other Auburn podcasts. There seems to be a lot of momentum inside the fan base, and that's what we've always wanted to get back to. And Thomas, we appreciate the $5, brother. Like, we appreciate the super chats. Look, to every one of y'all that get in here, to every one of you that spend a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning with us, we appreciate you. And I think we're going to have a really fun season this year with the content that me and Dustin bring you guys. I think we're going to have a fun time at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think we're going to have a fun time inside Pearlville this year. I think Auburn athletics is getting back right, man. All three, baseball, basketball, football, everything. I think we're, and there's other sports, but I think we're about to have a whole lot of fun once football gets back right. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. I know Dustin does as well. Dustin, that's all I got. It's just a war damn eagle for me, man. I'm excited. It's almost here.
Yeah, man. Just cannot thank you guys enough. Cannot I'm getting more and more optimistic. We do it every year. We do it, but listen, there's substance behind this. It's not just bug. There really is some substance behind it. The talent's starting to show up, and you're starting to hear things like, "Hey, behind the scenes, these boys are actually locked in, and they actually want to do something."
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear that at all last year. Heard the complete opposite, and we saw it play out on the field. Hearing good things, man, about the direction that this program is headed. So, like I said, Thursday night there's probably not going to be no show because I'm going to be covering the game, but we will be back later in the week.
Yeah.
Here soon, Blake. We're going to start dropping 3 episodes a week, man. So y'all stay ready. It's time to lock in. We see you guys later in the week. Love y'all, man. Appreciate it. War Damn Eagle.
War Damn, baby.